I guess if you are eligible, you are not going to be negated. But if you have to keep yourself up there, it calls for a lot of investment. Okay, and I somehow feel, though I belong to that, I would say the most positive, vibrant, lovely group. Okay, I think personal time investment for professional growth is very less in women. Okay, and that might be for many reasons, and somewhere I think they lose the interest of keeping them updated. Okay, I think that's something as women, I would really really love to see that people are spending quite a lot of time for personal growth. And I think the time that we are living is the best time because uh, we have digital facility everywhere. So if you really want to kind of access information, get into some network that you want to be a part of, and get yourself to that point, even if you are at zero today, I think you have that ability. I think 20 years back nobody would have thought about it, but today you can dream that high. So I would sincerely think that that number is not on someone else, but the number is sitting with us, who should be investing time and who should be really really steering to get to that point. Okay, it's our desire which will take us there, and not anybody's biases which will keep us back. That is something that I personally feel, because I personally see that urge of grooming is very less in women. I mean, not that, don't take me wrong, that women don't do it. Maybe they have arts for many things else and they have to do many things, but to scoop out something for themselves, we say me time, this time, that time, but coaching myself to get to that point calls for a lot of hard work. It's like, again, giving a board exam. Let me tell you, life is that tough, business is that tough. So if you do,
Guilt-free doing
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah,
We
you
are
should.
always so
You,
guilty
you,
that we are doing
yeah, yeah.
all
You
these
you
things.
can't have all those headache in your mind. So that's where the environment also plays a role. Okay, and you have to possibly ensure that you have that environment. If you wish to get married, choose a person who would support you in the journey. If you think the person is not good enough, please walk out and have a new life. Okay, and if you think you're self sufficient to lead your journey, you shouldn't be hold back to think that okay, marriage was the only thing that I was born for. Okay, and that shouldn't be the thing that should pull you back, and you shouldn't feel sorry at the end of your life thinking I could have done so many things, I did nothing. Okay, and I just did this. Okay, but if you're happy doing it, please do it. And there's nothing wrong in it. It's just that you should be clear to yourself. But if we all feel together that there is a percentage sitting there, there's an economic stuff out there. And I'll tell you a very simple thing. It starts not with big corporate discussion. I've seen 20 years back, I see even today, you will see in many homes, okay, even today, when financial papers are signed, whether it is a mutual fund, it's a life insurance, if it's investment, he sign it here. Okay, so paper is fallen somewhere, somebody will sign signature, autograph. The person doesn't know what that person is signing up for. Okay, what will happen with these papers. Okay, many people will sit, when 5 women will gather, I don't think 15 minutes they will speak about SIP, mutual fund, they will not speak about it. There is very rare community of people will speak because you're speaking about finance. Okay, if you spoke about just growth, this, then our conversation orientation also has to change, because if money is something that gives us a power, empowerment in different rooms, our decision making ability improves, then we all have to collectively work towards it. We cannot delegate money to somebody and think I will have a room on the say. You have to understand what it is, and believe me, for understanding that, it is as easy as cooking in a kitchen, okay, or gardening in the garden. We don't need to be maths expert to learn all that. And that's something that I would personally, I encourage people, and I say that it is little beyond, beyond what you are doing, you have to do to get there.
Very true. But you just bang on, Shonali, because very recently I saw that advertisement by Paytm. People talking about finances, and it's not like none of them were, not all of them were homemakers. They were salaried people, and so. And I have seen that the way people were moving forward, it was essentially men who were moving forward the discussion about investments, the discussion about insurances, everything. And I come from a family where my mother and mother-in-law both were working, and interestingly, none of them had any financial orientation. So as my father passed away very at a very early age, so I took up finance, you know automatically, because my mother lacked that intuition, and that helped me a lot in the future and going forward. So that is one thing which is there. And this brings me to the second question to you, is that as an entrepreneur, the hurdle that you faced, share a bit of a story about that. And from that, what is the message that you would like other entrepreneurs in your field or any other field to think about or talk about? Because you started pretty early, in terms of 10 years is a decade of entrepreneurship, right? So you've been there, done that.
So basically, my entrepreneurship was because of the hurdle of working. So how it was, of course, I got married to a supportive partner who supported me in my job and all. But what stopped it was motherhood, like that. At that point of time, it was very difficult, given my family structure, to step out of home and to do work. And then I put my daughter into a particular school where they told typically that the mother has to be always on, like, what to say, she has to be on attention and look after the kid and everything. So it was a very difficult journey. And what basically happened, I used to be a very dedicated worker in a particular organization. But when I had my child and went back, I was very eager to join back work. So 2 months after my child, I went back to work. Then as basically the CEO of the organization, he took a call that since I have a small baby, I'm not going to be a productive employee. So I'm a very tough girl. I rarely cry. But I remember that day I came back home and I actually cried. I was heartbroken that why are you judging me because I have become a mother? And it was my choice. I wanted a baby, I had a baby. And I was still prepared to work, and I have done my setup. So on that moment, so basically it was difficult also for me to step out of home. And because I was a journalist, the only core skill I have, which I always say, is writing. I write very well. That's my core skill, and that's the only thing I'm good at. Like that. So I took up a lot of freelance writing, assignments. And my friends who had dared not to marry and who were in journalism position, they kept on passing a lot of freelance work to me. To a point, once I started freelance writing, because the writing was good, I at a point became saturated with work. I could only do that much. How much can you write? So I decided, let me take an assistant who can do the basic drafting research, and I can start editing the article, adding flair to it, and do that. And that one assistant became 2, and it became 3, and then it became 15. I received a lot of overseas writing and editing assignment, and that is how my first company, which is Wordsmith Writing Services, was born. I don't speak much about the company in Kolkata, but that was the company which took me to the World Women Entrepreneurship Summit in 2014, where the US government awarded me for promoting women entrepreneurship in India. And the interesting thing about that company is that it employs writers based out of home. So I have around 80 to 100 writers who are employed out of home. A lot of them stay overseas. They've gone with their husband. They're properly qualified professional who went out with their husbands. They don't have a B1 visa, I think, particular visa which they need to work. But they can write very well because they're very well-educated girls and they want to do some work. And so this company employs these freelancers, and we have a fantastic writing and communication team. So this was my first company before I moved on to my second company, which was on social media, and then the third company, which I started about a year back. So my entrepreneurship thing has always been about a struggle. I became an entrepreneur because I was not qualified enough to go out of home and work. I couldn't be a full-time worker. Otherwise, I would have been in a job, basically. So I became an entrepreneur by choice and by compulsion, both. And as she rightly said that, you have to have the passion to keep on working. Like when I had my second kid, there was almost a bet in family. Now it's over. Now the game is over. She's going to go back. So I was so tensed about it that within 2 weeks after my second childbirth, I went back to work to an extent that the doctor had to tell me that if you don't take rest for at least 3 months, I'm going to make sure you lie at home at least 6 months. So, there is always that pressure that you have to work. So I have that burning thing amidst me that, I have to work. I don't have an option. I always keep on telling myself that you have to work. You don't have an option. You have to grow. You cannot be someone small. So that ambition that unless you have that passion, fire, it never happens. And very sadly, what I see, a lot of people, we girls have it very easy. we are educated, we go to good colleges, then we get married well, we have children, and then we take great pride in saying, I'm a qualified MBBS doctor, but बेटी को कौन देखेगा, उसीलिए मैं practice नहीं करती हूँ. And I was like, what will you see your daughter? You will again make her a doctor, make her marry and sit at home? I mean, I see no logic between this being this sacrificial Niruparai kind of character, you know, not working and taking pride about not working like that. So they say, you know, so I mean, as I kept on saying last time also, the social fabric has to change. People have to understand that it is important for girls to work, because I feel that gender empowerment begins with money. It's all about money. Today, if you go back, why do they kill a girl child? Because they're scared when she grows up, she'll have to get married, they have to pay a substantial dowry. Why do they ask for a dowry basically? Because, you know, the girl will be sitting at home for the next 20-25 years and they have to feed her, so better take some money from her father and do that. So, you know, the only way for women empowerment, for this emancipation is that if we work, we earn money. So that's what I feel. It's important to work and it's important to be passionate about working. And I'm very passionate about working.
We can feel the passion. So I'm shifting a gear a bit, Shonali, moving from your IT persona to the writer persona. Okay, so it reminds me, I was just thinking about it, it reminds me that, you know, this in this book, The Little Women, okay, so when I guess Jo March, she was the one who was the writer, and she goes to the publisher asking to publish her writings. And the publisher then says that you have to give it a pen name of a man. Woman writers are not, they don't get sold. Their books are not, don't get sold. So sitting today, you have now published 2 books. You know, how is the scene like? You know, how is the acceptance? Where does it stand today? Especially for, you know, you are writing in English. So what is the scenario?
This is a difficult one, but you know, I don't know whether I have statistics to kind of say anything, but I don't think personally I've seen anything, you know, women against men, because there are so many successful women writers and they have really gone at length, you know, their books not only getting, you know, appreciated, applauded, they have been adopted for many other things, right? So personally, if you ask me, I don't see a bias of that sort, but it is more about, you know, what stories are we telling? It is more important, okay? Because if we are sharing stories in the line that, you know, just paints the picture of our struggles and, you know, doesn't really give us an outlook to where we should run, versus, you know, something very different from a man's world, because every story would have protagonists to run for, right? So end of it, we need to understand that are we positioning our protagonists in the right light, okay? And, you know, we are keeping some message which, you know, is universal and not like, you know, one against the other, which I think, you know, many authors are adopting, and I guess that's a very positive sign. And I think publishing industry in the last 10 years have really gone very far off, and it has made it very easy, I would say, for that matter. I think, you know, when I thought initially that I will write something years back, I didn't even think that any day something like this would happen, okay? But I think it is not just because I'm writing, but because there's an environment where I can get in and I can do something like that, okay? So I think that industry is fairly balanced in my mind. But you know what, just like, you know, books, movies, you know, all I would say shapes of art and culture, it is something very important that we have to kind of really portray our characters right. Because if we keep portraying our characters wrong, okay, then possibly that gets more instilled in our minds, okay. It is a very important aspect, because sometimes, you know, how we portray is very deep rooted, okay. I'll tell you, you know, not just from books, okay, because I think reading book, that whole stuff, though I would say last 5, 6, 7, 8 years, maybe, you know, I would give a little credit to Chetan Bhagat for that. Indian reading has become a little bit of a more passion and a style, but there are people who don't read books, to be precise, okay. People don't like reading book, but adaptation of the book or seeing something digitally is more preferred, okay. Yes, we see bold characters, but I think everybody has to be conscious about how this is getting portrayed, because this has deep repercussion in our society, which has a long way to go as to how we see our nation growing. Who are we representing? Okay, do we have, and it necessarily need not be somebody in flesh and blood, but characters of such kind of I would say books, digital outcomes that we are seeing often becomes our role model. Okay, so if we keep portraying them very often in a light, I think maybe some of the numbers that you were speaking of could take a different route. Okay, our not only challenges but how we are going about it. I think there's a dearth of that in our country, to be precise. Okay, because if you really look at whether it's a television show or it's movie, a major portion of it, not just showing some kind of just a Jhansi Ka Rani kind of a portrayal, but which is historical, or that spirit is good, but normal day, normal woman, their life and getting to the real business room struggles, they're very different. Okay, I don't think those kind of movies come out every day. Movies, stories, articles, I don't think they get discussed too much. Those are things I guess we should focus more. That's how I look at it, because there are challenges undiscussed. Okay, and I'll give you, since you're speaking about books and this, and some of my books and writing that I keep kind of scribbling, to be precise, are influenced by some things that are happening around me, not necessarily with me but with somebody around me. And since you were asking hurdles and all, there are strange hurdles that women go through. Okay, strange hurdles. I mean, and there is nothing to shy away from. Many a times in office work, women I think would have gone through this, and I do not know about her. She might echo, but I do not know. When you are in an ecosystem which is men heavy, okay, you might be called for an assignment which all men has rejected. Okay, this is a very common syndrome. Okay, your boss would possibly pick you up for a job because the gentleman knows that none of the men will pick up that work. And you know what? In many cases, I've figured out that job has a fuzziness in it. That means the end is not clear. Okay. Now, since end is not clear, there is a inherent, behavior of not picking it up, because there is an uncertainty in it, right? I have been fortunate, initially thought unfortunate, but have been fortunate. And at some point I realized this is, where I can kind of go and claim my fame. Okay, picking up things that people possibly thought, it's not that interesting, but turning out to be interesting. Okay, is when people will start thinking, hey, maybe I missed something. I should have been the first one. So I think, don't shy away if you really get such kind of opportunity. Something that I have learned from my own personal stuff, and I keep coaching people, and there are some reflections of that in my writing when I keep writing that, opportunities always don't come in same shape and form. So please be open and, jump into it, and you might, open up a very different road that people have not even traveled.
Very true.
Yeah.
Very well put, Chonali. That brings me to my last question, the same question to both of you, that if we have to just summarize, our conversation now and your experience so far in a very short way, what would be your advice to the generation who's looking up to you?
So basically, my advice would be to keep the fire alive. Not working unless you're sick or you cannot work is never an option. You have to work. You have to earn your money. It's very important to earn your own bread and butter, and also I wouldn't say to balance everything, to do things as best as you can. Don't try to be someone who is a superwoman kind of thing. Give some time to yourself is very important. Don't feel guilty. I try telling myself every single day, whatever happens, don't feel guilty. It's okay. You're all humans. So like that, we are not under agenda to prove anything to anyone, lesser to ourselves. We are educated, we need to work, so we are working. And also a very important point, I want to say that a lot of working women, they don't share financial responsibilities. I think that is also a very important point. If you have a partner, have a very clear-cut communication that, this is the part I am sharing and this is the part, you also need to pitch in there. So that it becomes mandatory for you to work, and this is not something कि हम शौक में करते. My salary is my own to buy my lipsticks and sarees and for my abroad travel. You become an equal partner in all sense. You take equal financial load, and only then you enter the financial system, which is very important. That's what I would be, and keep the fire alive. You have to work, you will work, like that.
Yeah, so first thing is for the girls who are growing and would possibly enter their professional life, don't be hard on yourself, okay? Just be very easy, okay? And what, as much as we are preparing girls for tomorrow, it is so very important that we prepare boys for tomorrow, okay? It is a very important responsibility of the society. So I guess that they shouldn't be left in the journey, and they should be not only coached, how to learn few things which possibly in general people don't give it an eye, okay, which are like basic skills of today. At the same point of time, when they are growing, getting into professional work, they should watch out, their surrounding. If they are missing diversity or they are missing the inclusiveness around them, I mean, they should be the first one to stand up, because, over a span of time, if they really want to be leaders in their field, okay, they will not be in a position to handle many things, because their consumer base, their stakeholders, their partners, they will not miss, this community. So if they don't know how to walk side by side, this community from the very beginning, of the journey, and in a very effective way, they will also be a loser at the end of it, okay? And for women, I would say, don't kind of forget in this race that who I am, okay? You don't have to be a man tomorrow. Just be a woman. Just be a woman in your style. Take it easy. But as she rightly stated, I guess sense of finance is a very, very important aspect of growing up, okay? And be very, very particular from the beginning, getting a bank account at some point of time, transacting bank account, okay, understanding what does 500 rupees mean as against 2000 rupees, okay, how do I spend it, what is it that I keep, okay? These are things sometimes we feel we take it very easy. Investments, okay, we shouldn't shy away. Same newspaper would have one page dedicated for wealth, okay? Not many girls would read it. I'm not saying no girls read it, but not many girls would read it, okay? It's very important that you get, and you would see many boys, that would be the first thing that they will read. What is the share market like? Okay, what is the stock exchange? I'm not saying you have to be a master. Just get acquainted as much as at least flip through page 3 and page 1, okay? Just make that page also an important page in your day-to-day. I think that is good enough for us to go through the run, and someday maybe we'll come together to celebrate that the GDP has gone there.
So thank you for the participation and the real some hard to life kind of conversation. Thank you, Ritushmita, and thank you, Shonali, and we thank you on behalf of Tribe to be part of this conversation.